Scholar.
I think very deeply.
Sinner.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Derrick Pierce. Welcome to the Scholar and the Sinner Show. And to my immediate left, your right is...
Superstar KIP Graham. That's who I am. Superstar KIP Graham.
Okay, you had to dig a little bit for that one.
Superstar Billy Graham was I liked him. I thought it was cool.
I'm just saying he wasn't...
No, he wasn't a big time, but still sounded cool.
I fucked up my mic.
Yeah,
dude.
man, if you stop touching shit.
Well, I'm trying to get that feedback out. I don't want people to hear the feedback.
They
Only feedback I want is in the fucking comment section below.
Yeah, leave some comments, please.
Yeah. I'm all about that shit.
No, you're not. You don't even answer the comments. I answer the comments.
I fucking read the comments.
You don't even read the comments.
You know why? I'll tell you why I don't read the fucking comments.
Please tell me why you don't read the comments.
This is something that I learned in adult movies.
Mm-hmm.
Is I never fucking read the comments. Because people are fucking assholes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
That fucking dude in his basement fucking jerking off to his big screen
He's in his
TV,
mama's basement.
Whichever.
You know, I mean, he's 45.
And mad trolling.
Got a bowl of Fruity Pebbles.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not about to listen to this motherfucker who got nothing but time.
Got nothing. Today I got time, cuz.
Today right here, homie.
Today
I got time, cuz. Yeah, I don't want to hear this motherfucker. So,
man.
Fuck you.
Hey, me on the other hand, I want all the smoke.
Yeah.
Because today I got
I mean,
time.
for the show, I want the smoke. Just don't talk about me. I'm fucking sensitive.
Yeah, he's kind of sensitive.
A little bit.
How could you be a sensitive and an asshole at the same time? How is that even possible? Those things should be mutually exclusive.
It's like life. I'm a sensitive asshole.
That's
Most
kind of
assholes are sensitive.
You know what? I feel like I set that up. I gotta stop throwing you these fucking alley-oops. Okay, like I'm setting shit up like we're playing volleyball, and there you go spiking it.
Does that make me Kobe and you?
I'm Shaq. No.
No. Go ahead, run with that.
Okay, I'll be Shaq. You can be Kobe. That works.
Hey.
Yeah, I'll be Shaq. You can go.
Hey.
Hey, remember Shaq's freestyle? Kobe, how my ass taste? Oh man.
Damn.
you don't remember that shit?
I don't.
I actually feel. You know what? I think it's too early for Kobe jokes.
I didn't make the Kobe
It's
joke.
too early for Kobe jokes. God bless the dead, man. It's too early for Kobe jokes. Hey, congratulations to the Lakers, though.
Yes.
Yeah, Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, was it
LeBron
that shock,
James?
though?
No, it wasn't. LeBron James is going to win another championship. Yes, he is.
As he should.
Yes, he should. And LeBron James is looking like he's kicking time's ass. Because that dude is old for a basketball player and still being incredibly productive.
I just think he's always had that receding hairline, and it's just receded to where it's going to go.
I'm not talking about LeBron James' hair.
I'm just saying, because there ain't much of it to talk about.
The lack thereof.
He should just shave it.
I think LeBron James would look just fine bald. I think he would just go ahead and
I'm saying I think he should just save it.
I mean, you understand that very well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had
LeBron
hair
James-
since I was 19.
LeBron James will look just fine bald. But, hey.
I'm saying,
you
LeBron,
can't
pick that shit,
You
homie.
can't be mad at a man's ambition, man. You know what I'm saying?
His ambition is so far here. He's got a lot of ambition.
Yeah, you can't be mad at his
Ambition pushed that whole wig back.
Yeah, but congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers.
He's not fucking with that?
No, I'm not fucking with it at all.
All right, I hear you.
There's all kinds of memes. There's all kinds of shit out there about my man's hairline. I remember when he had the double sweatbands. It was just, and then he went to the hair club for man or some shit. I don't know,
He's just bringing it forward slowly.
Hey! I guarantee you, when LeBron retires, he's gonna have a full luscious head of hair. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna figure it out. He got enough money to get implants from some.
Speaking of people who should probably have hair implants, how about Mr. Donnie there? Donnie J. Trump. The debates are coming up.
Yeah, man.
It's like in a week, I think. It's on the 8th, maybe, I think.
Originally when we first started this show, we was just sitting here cracking jokes and talking a bunch of shit, and then it becomes so difficult to avoid this fucking asshole president that we have.
Fucking shit got real is what
It
happened.
got all the way real, man. It's like every 5 minutes there's always something to talk about with this fucking guy, man.
Can I just, so I think I told you, I started watching Ben Shapiro. And I watch Ben Shapiro not because I'm interested in what he has to say, but more along the lines of what he is saying.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
I'm not watching him to get the news, I think he's a fucking troll. I think he's a little bitch, personally. That's just me. You know what I mean? And I think that, he says some shit that a lot of people want to hear.
Yeah, man.
But
I agree with you. First of all, he's a highly intelligent person, right?
Oh yeah,
But-
I'm not doubting his intelligence.
And I actually want to hear what he's got to say too. Like I just watched his synopsis on the Breonna Taylor case, and it was intelligently insulting. I was like, what the fuck?
Because some of the shit he's saying is not exactly factual.
Yo, a lot of the shit he's saying is not exactly factual.
Now, to be fair, I call him that extreme right.
Right.
Then I would call the Young Turks extreme left.
Okay.
And while I do watch a lot of Young Turks and I agree with a lot of the things that they say, they also get some of the facts wrong.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah,
and I'm
right.
damn, can't we just get to some decent fucking reporting that's in the middle?
Right. Well, I mean, like that always leads us back to, one of Donald Trump's his catchphrases is fake news.
Oh, of course.
Right? Because it's more like colored news.
Right.
Right? It's more like news that leans to a certain perspective for the purpose of backing more ideas that are divisive.
But if you talk to any of those conservatives who are heavy Trump supporters, they're like, all the news is fucked up.
Man,
except for Fox. No, wait a minute, not this week.
I got all the fucking day for you fucking Trump supporters. I got all day for you fucking Trump supporters, man.
I don't.
Listen, no, man, no. Because, listen, I honestly believe that you can be a Trump supporter and still be a wonderful human being, right?
Yeah.
Because, when we talk about who this guy is, right, there is who he is and then who people thought he was when they voted for him for president, right?
Right.
Because we have this dude that was supposed to be a successful, businessman and a billionaire and all this shit. And then we find out that this motherfucker paid $750
fake news
in taxes.
Fake news is not true.
Look,
I don't know if it's true. I'm assuming it's true.
If you work at McDonald's and you put the Big Mac in the little cardboard carton, you paid more taxes than the president of the United States.
I feel like you paid more taxes in 2 or 3 months
than the president of the United States, perspective-wise, right?
Right.
All the Trump-supporting motherfuckers in the middle America, yeah, he's gonna, fight for our rights. This is the same motherfucker that got impeached, right? He got impeached for what? Abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
Well, he can do that because it's fake news.
Oh, man, look, bro. The impeachment ain't fake, bro. That impeachment actually happened. It went down.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, look, this is my point.
And you know what's going to happen? Is that nobody's going to give a fuck about the fact that let's assume. I've heard that he is in debt around $300 million up to $1.1 billion.
$1.1 billion in debt?
I haven't read enough.
Hey, yo, bro, Kanye West is a billionaire. He needs to call Kanye and get a loan because Kanye.
Well, I'm just saying, how do you owe $1 billion?
I don't know, man.
Assuming that it's true. I don't know that shit to be true.
But that was one of his. When I saw him speak, he said, he loses more money than he makes. Hence, this is how he avoids paying taxes.
Well, on paper,
right? And then I saw another video saying how he manipulates. He admitted to manipulating the American tax laws for his benefit, so that he doesn't have to pay taxes.
As a lot of people do.
Well. This is supposed to be the leader of the free world.
I think
right?
the difference is that most people, I'm hoping, don't do it illegally. I think that they follow the absolute letter of the IRS tax code and then operate within that.
Right.
And I think that there's a difference between placating and manipulating and just riding the line.
Right. Well, you know what I really, really want is for all those Trump supporters that stood up for him under the guise of honesty and
they said he's a great businessman.
Yeah, of honesty and economics and Christian values. These people that supported him because they believe that he stood for these things. I want to know how they justify this. How do you justify supporting someone that basically cheated the system? Right, that basically
and then bragged
bragged about it. Not only did you cheat the system and bragged about it, you paid more taxes than him. Right, so the person that you're holding up as your champion doesn't give a flying fuck about you, or your family, or your fucking communities, because what taxes are supposed to do is supposed to benefit the community, and this dude is not paying taxes. Listen, how come it took so long for his taxes to come out? Right? They've been talking about this shit for a long time.
Because he was creating cases in order to stop, I believe it was New York State, and creating injunctions so they were not allowed to facilitate the viewing of his tax returns.
Right, okay.
And I think finally a Superior Court judge in New York finally ruled and said that he actually has to show them.
Right.
Which is apparently where all of this information has come out now. But of course, every time they ask him about it, they go, he goes, it's is completely fake. It's
Right.
ridiculous.
Right.
It's the Washington Post.
Oh,
it's
of course.
the New York Times.
Oh, yeah, the New York Times is full of fake news, right?
Of course, it's
Yeah, of
completely
course,
all
of course.
fake.
Listen, so I heard him say that, that New York Times article is fake news and that his true tax returns will be released very, very soon, right?
Right, which is he's been saying that since 2016.
Look,
Actually,
all I'm saying,
since before then, since 15, I believe.
all I'm saying is that this president is not above reproach. He's not above criticism, and those individuals that blindly follow him
Right.
with his if we were to go back to, like, let's say March or even February or even January when we heard about the coronavirus and how he like acted like it was not a big deal, and this is the same motherfucker that's going to tell everybody to go get vaccinated, the same motherfucker that says you should inject bleach,
Who
like,
don't- who also
like,
doesn't wear a mask.
It's the same dude, man.
Who
Like,
also doesn't wear a
who doesn't
mask.
wear a mask, right? Who had rallies and people got sick. Like, this is the same fucking guy. Like,
You know what I found?
what are we talking about here?
You know what I found really ironic as of late?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm noticing, obviously, more and more. I think we said this on the last show, right, about the American flag.
Okay.
And it seems to have become synonymous with being not only a Republican,
Right.
but being a very specific a Trump supporter.
Right.
And that now if you don't have a flag,
Mm-hmm.
you somehow are not patriotic,
Right.
which we've already established that that's being more
It's nationalism,
Right.
not patriotism. They're two different things.
right.
Right.
And that you then must be a Democrat
True.
and also not very American
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you don't have a flag.
So here's the thing, right? Like, all that stuff is smoke and mirrors. All that
Right.
stuff is complete bullshit. I believe that you can be a Trump supporter and still be a loving, wonderful human being, right?
Sure.
All I'm asking is people to be honest about critiquing who this person is and what this person has done.
And hold them to the same
Right.
standard.
Now, listen, is he fallible? Yes. Is any president going to be any president going to be fallible?
100%.
Absolutely, right?
100%.
But I just for me personally,
Right.
I just get sick of the individuals thinking that this guy was going to save them, right? Or he was going to do things that were going to benefit them.
Well,
and he doesn't give a fuck,
he's
not
a
even a
snake
little
oil
bit.
salesman. He says what you want to hear and then acts upon what your
Right.
reaction is and then continues to build upon what your reaction
Yeah.
is to elicit more
Because
reactions.
you can be a Republican and still be a proud American. You can be a Democrat and still be a proud American.
You can
There's
be a Democrat and be
You could be in
pro-abortion.
the fucking Green Party and
and-
be proud American.
Listen, you could be Democrat, pro-abortion, and pro-gun.
Yeah, absolutely. You can be pro-abortion and pro-gun.
And
still
also capitalist.
at the end of the day, there's enough room for all of us. But I think that our president has done the best job in being divisive. He hasn't really spoken to everybody. He's only spoken listen, I honestly wouldn't. If you really want to know the truth, I honestly wouldn't give a fuck about his taxes. I actually wouldn't give a fuck about him being impeached if he was more ingratiating to everyone.
Well, but
if
he's not.
he actually spoke to everyone and tried to, bring people together and actually
He did.
be a
He said,
leader.
"Here's my black friend."
Yeah, right. Yeah,
He said, "This black guy right here supports
this
me."
is right. And then he had that conversation with Kanye, right? Like, bro, like at the end of the day, that's what the president should be doing. He should be working to bring people together, right? Like, to the point where a Trump supporter shouldn't feel guilty about being a fucking Trump supporter.
No, well, or attacked.
Yeah, a Trump supporter shouldn't feel attacked about being a fucking Trump supporter.
But they are. They think everybody's out to get them.
Well, I mean, like, shit, man. Like, this dude has done his best to stoke to get the
flame,
fires, to get the fires going a lot.
Right.
Throw some gasoline on the shit when he says the most. Look, he's still calling it the China virus, right?
Well,
He's
he does
still
that
saying-
shit on purpose because it panders.
Yeah, but what about the Chinese Americans that are
Fuck
being?
'em.
Yeah, right.
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 That's what he's saying. He's saying,
right.
"Fuck 'em."
Like, what about the Chinese Americans that are being either overtly or covertly persecuted because the president is blaming a country? You could be a third generation, fourth generation Chinese American, and this motherfucker over here talking about the China virus, how China should be punished for what they've done, unleashing this virus on the world. Like, you know how uncomfortable it might be? Like, listen,
Of course.
like that type of shit there in and of itself makes it just feel like, yo, is this your man's? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's your
Is this your
representation.
man's? Like, what did Killmonger say? Is this your king?
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
right.
Black Panther reference.
Yeah,
Is this
yeah.
your king, bro? Like, what the fuck, man? So when we're talking about the president, it's a hot topic because of voting.
Well, it's a
Right.
hot topic because voting is
Because of the
here,
election.
because him and Biden are about to have
Right.
their first debate.
And I'm all the way afraid for that. right? Because
I don't think Biden can fight the way that Trump fights.
well, no, I think it's a different type of fighting, right? Even if Biden is on his P's and Q's, right? Trump, I keep telling you, Trump is like that kid that no matter how much you argue with him, he'll always be like, "You ugly."
Right.
It don't matter. It don't matter how much facts or how much like intelligent shit that you say. He can be like, "You ugly."
But that's why I agree with Bill Maher. You have to stoop to their level. Occasionally, you got to punch a bully in the fucking face.
So,
you know what I mean? Like you can't just. I got to turn the other cheek. Fuck you. I only got 2 cheeks.
right. So, and that was one of the reasons why people were saying that Kamala Harris got the nomination for vice president is because she has an online presence, right? So when Trump is online tweeting, because he's the commander in tweet, right? When this motherfucker's Twitter fingering away, like she can come with the smoke. She's 100% equipped to do that. Joe Biden isn't.
No.
And I would be lying if I said that I was 100% confident in Joe Biden's ability to. I'm
not.
I'm not really, really confident. But once again, voting in this election is not only about the office of president.
No, and that's what we really want to cover, right?
Right.
And so, there's an artist out, Yellow Pain.
Yeah, he did a great job. Hey, yo,
fucking
what
amazing.
was the name of the song?
Something
Josh,
about
can you look that up
us.
for us real quick?
The one that we watched.
Yeah, because it's a really dope breakdown, and it's really like 8th grade social studies. It's like middle school social studies.
It's a recap,
right?
y'all.
Yeah,
go watch
about a bunch
Yellow
of shit
Pain.
that we forgot, and we giving this dude an endorsement because the shit was dope and it's educational. It doesn't matter which party you belong to. We're talking about the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branch, right? And what we're talking about is also voting for things that are going to happen on your block, in your city, in your backyard.
So everybody knows who the president is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who the vice president is. What is that?
What is it called?
My vote don't count.
Oh, my vote don't
Yellow
count.
Pain, my vote don't count.
Yeah, look it up.
Look it up. It's dope.
So everybody knows who the president is. Everybody knows who the VP is.
Yep.
Some people know who the Secretary of State is. Some people know who's in charge of the military. Very few people know who their congressman is.
Oh yeah, y'all don't know who your fucking
and
congressman is.
even less people know who their state senator is.
Right. So what's even crazier is that we don't even know, the average person doesn't even know what the branches of the government does, right? Like the legislative branch is the one that makes the laws, right? So those individuals consist of the Senate and the House of Representatives, and these are elected positions, right? So
in our communities who don't have term limits.
What we're talking about is think of something like California used to have a 3 strikes law, right? We have all kinds of laws that will affect your community directly, and if you're not paying attention to it, the individuals are going to make decisions that are not in your best interest, right? We have the executive branch, which carries out the laws.
Right.
This is the president and the vice president. He has the power to veto shit to say it was good or
they
say
basically
it's not
yes
good.
or no.
Right. And then we have the judicial branch. This is the Supreme Court, and the other courts and the other judges.
They enforce the laws.
They enforce the law. So they execute or evaluate. So these are the types of ideas that I think that people need to be informed about. But unfortunately,
how many people care though?
You know what?
Because I think a lot of us are distracted, right?
Yeah,
by
I'm glad you
who's
said
the
that.
president.
No, so I don't think we're distracted. Well, we are being definitely distracted by who's the president. But I think that the life in itself can become 100% monotonous, and we are focused on surviving. And for the most time, we're focused on survival. So you feel like you're on this fucking hamster wheel of life, right? I wake up, I go to work, I kiss my wife, I come home, I yell at the kids, I go to sleep, I wake up. You do this shit over and over and over again. All you're thinking about is paying the bills and staying out of debt and staying out of trouble, that you're not really paying attention to the atmosphere and the things that are happening around you.
Right, because it's easy to forget.
It's easy to forget, right.
I mentioned to you earlier, so in my neighborhood, I like to know who's on my city council. I like to know who is the police chief in our area, because some of those positions are elected.
The police chief is an elected position.
Right. In most communities, or the sheriff,
yeah.
things
Sheriffs
like that.
are elected.
And so I like to know those things. And I just noticed that they had one of the streets close to my house blocked off because they were doing some road work. Now that's a street I happen to go down every day when I'm leaving my house. And I was like, God, ain't that a bitch, right? And I got to go all the way around. And then I was coming down the street and I fucking hit a speed bump.
Yeah, I was like, where the fuck did this speed bump come
They just
from?
put in, and I'm like, what the fuck? They got speed bumps. Now, it's not that I have a problem with the speed bumps, but I vote.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were putting speed bumps on this street, and not that they needed my permission,
But they use your tax dollars to put those speed bumps
right,
down.
and I want to know
Because you're a homeowner and you pay property
where
tax.
my tax dollars go. I want to know
Go ahead,
this
Cardi
shit.
B. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, it's very important that we are informed. The problem is that being informed takes energy, and a lot of our energy is pointed towards other things. And I feel as though that we have so much stuff to focus on. Right? Be afraid. Right? Be afraid of getting the coronavirus, right? Be afraid that the protesters are going to come and destroy your livelihood. They're going to tear down your fucking racist ass monument. Be afraid, there's these people and those people that are trying to take your
Be afraid
rights.
that people of color are going to somehow take you over.
Yeah, there's going to somehow.
So you gotta secure your own race.
Right. So
and don't forget about the militia that you should probably be a part of, because your whole system is in jeopardy and your neighborhood could be on fire.
Very interesting that you brought up the idea of militia, right? Because you and I were kicking around the idea that you got from Bill Maher, and you said this shit to me months ago, right? Like, what happens if the election happens and then motherfucking Donald Trump is like, I'm not leaving. They fucking cheated.
I'm cool.
Right?
You can go on and start your eviction process, but I know I got 90 days.
Right. So you know what's even wilder about this shit is that even he hasn't committed to a peaceful surrender of office. He was cornered.
How do you do that?
And he was like, well, I don't know. You know, the voting system, the mail-in votes, and mail-in votes have been around for a long time. I think what people forget is
which has virtually, just for the record, it's a fucking fact, has virtually no fraud.
Right.
We're talking about like 0.01% or something like that.
Right.
It's negligible at best.
Right. So I think that what people forget is that we actually have a precedence for secession, so to speak, right? Like Abraham Lincoln was the president of the Union, and Jefferson Davis was the president of the Confederacy.
Right.
And they seceded from the Union because they wanted to maintain a certain way of life. So what happens when, let's say Joe Biden wins, and then hypothetically speaking, if Donald Trump was like, well, fuck that, they cheated, I'm not leaving, then we literally have two presidents, because those individuals that believe that Trump is the rightful president, because, you know, he's not on his 8th year, so he can't just walk out, he's not losing the job, he could get reelected.
Absolutely.
And those individuals are like, wait a minute, man, it goes against the Constitution. This motherfucker lost. We just have a huge dividing line. I feel like our president has done the greatest job in sowing the seeds of discourse, like
100%.
pandering and splitting us in half. Like, bro, at the end of the day, we could have a Republican president that does a great job.
Yes.
We could have a Democratic president that does a great job.
It's happened,
yeah,
y'all.
it's happened before. Well, I mean, like, shit. I mean,
listen, when Bill Clinton was in office, love or hate him, a lot of people loved him.
Yeah. Well, Bill Clinton's out there playing the fucking saxophone on Arsenio Hall, bro. Like, like
he wasn't the only one playing the saxophone.
Hold on, no shit, no, he was getting his saxophone played on in the Oval Office. But for you young motherfuckers that don't know what the Arsenio Hall show is, go play some Fortnite, bitches. That's gonna literally be my
by the way,
slogan.
Trump is not the only president to have been impeached.
Mm-hmm.
Clinton was impeached.
Oh yeah, Clinton was impeached.
But Clinton was impeached for getting his dick sucked.
No. He was impeached for lying about getting his dick sucked. I did not have
Trump was impeached
sexual relations.
for abuse of power.
Yeah, man. It's the idea that this guy was honest. Like, I'm not gonna say that the leader is going to be infallible. The leader is going to be fallible. That's true. All I'm saying.
I would just rather them lie about getting his dick sucked than lying about trying to pull one over.
Listen, I would just rather the dude just do a better job at uniting the country. Like, the country. Listen, and then people wonder why they call Trump a racist when he only speaks to one demographic.
I don't wonder.
Like, well, no, I mean, he only really speaks to one demographic. And if you disagree with me, please find a place where he's actually said something to, like, instead of, like, I saw him in Florida, right?
What do you say that he's done more for black people in prison, and he's done to get them out of prison, and he's done more for black colleges?
Bro, I need to see the numbers.
I'm just telling you that's what's been told to me.
I need to see the numbers, because like more is insignificant unless it is significant, right?
Sure.
Like, okay, yeah, more. If you did 1%, yeah, motherfucker, that's more. But 1% is not significant for systemic change, because what we're talking about is systemic change. Listen, when we talked about, I was listening to Shapiro actually, right? And he was talking about Breonna Taylor, and he had this black police officer that said that he didn't see and he didn't, but this dude was well spoken. The cop that he had interviewed was a very bright guy, right? And this cop was like, Psh, I don't see systemic racism in the police force. And I was like, fuck, man, I hate when these pundits, these people that speak, go find they literally go seek a black dude to support their case, not because he's smart. He just happened to be a smart guy because he's a black dude. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. I wish it was another white dude saying that shit, right? Like,
Ixnay on the racism.
Hey, right? Like, bro, like you went and saw the black dude for this shit. So the idea of like systemic racism, when we're talking about, he's done more, but if that more is just a modicum, it's just a little tiny amount, that doesn't necessarily change the problems with the system.
Yeah, no, I agree. And listen, I wish that a lot of people would stop towing the party line, both sides, and start towing the issue line.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Toe the issue. And listen, with the way the Supreme Court is, we won't get into that too much, right? But you're looking at it, it's going to be most likely it's going to end up being conservative because they are going to push this recommendation through.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
the confirming of the new justice.
Right.
Amy, I can't remember her name.
Man,
the 49-year-old who's had so much life experience.
Yeah. Listen, I know. Only thing I know about her is that she's very, very well educated. She went to Notre Dame. She was
Justice Scalia's clerk. She clerked for Justice Scalia.
And but one of the things we're talking about is that since the Supreme Court justices get a job for life, right? That may not see at 49 years old. You should have been. You should be liberal enough. Like, listen, man, I don't mind the conservatives. I don't. Right?
Neither do I.
Especially a 49-year-old conservative should have had enough. Should have grown up in a period of time where things were so far different.
She was on Court of Appeals too.
Yeah, but it should be so far different from the 1950s.
Yes,
right?
I agree. I know where you're going with that.
Yeah, it should be so far different from the 1950s, the 1940s, and 1960s. Like when we had motherfuckers like Strom Thurmond, right? He was old as shit on the Supreme Court and like
still believing in segregation.
Yeah, I mean he gone now, but fuck, man, like shit like that. That dude was on the Supreme Court for I don't know how many fucking years, but the point is that his like foundational understanding of what America is was given to him by his parents and from his parents' parents, and all that shit had everything to do with the oppression of people of color, right?
Yeah.
So then this motherfucker gets a job on the Supreme Court and he's in there
perpetuating.
Like, how do you get rid of that type of shit? So at 49 years old, you can still be conservative. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
but you should still be ingratiating.
Because we were talking about the different branches of government, right? One of the things that it has always been apparent since day one from our Constitution, since so many people, both sides of the coin, want to continue to talk about the Constitution all the time, right?
Right.
Is that there's got to be a separation of church and state. True. Whether we're a Christian nation or not is fucking irrelevant. It has nothing to do with it. They were very specific in saying separation of church and state, aka you keep your fucking religion over there, we'll keep our fucking rules over here, and they're not supposed to mix. I'm sorry, they're fucking synonymous now. That's what it is. It's 100% intertwined. Trump's talking about putting religion in schools.
Yeah.
I don't think that religion, as far as practice goes, should be in the school system. I think religion, as far as education on what these religions are, that I agree with 100%.
So,
but not in practice.
So let me posit. Let me drop this idea off for you, right? Like there is a very, very American ideal that actually made this country. That's the idea of no taxation without representation. And when people are talking about defunding the police are paid for with tax dollars. We have neighborhoods, the inner city neighborhoods, that are over policed, right? That is literally taxation without representation. So when everybody gets all up in arm about defunding the police, it's not talking about getting rid of the police, motherfucker. It's talking about taking those tax dollars and putting those tax dollars into other places where it would help the community actually grow.
Yeah, it's not the appropriate word.
Right, using the taxation to represent the body of people in this specific neighborhood to help the neighborhood grow. Like the idea that, defund the police means get rid of the police is some smoke and mirrors bullshit that all of you uninformed, I'm going hard.
Yeah, I know. I'm giving you a wide berth on this one.
I decided to I had to catch myself. I'm
gonna push both microphones.
I was going a little hard, but it's all I'm saying is that defunding the police is as American as no taxation without representation. It's the same fucking thing because our police are funded by the tax dollars.
You just skip over my religious shit though.
I had to skip over the religious shit because listen.
It's fucking important.
No, listen. So when I heard Trump say prayer in schools, and if we were to go back a couple episodes, I believe in prayer in schools. I think prayer in schools is
I know
fine.
you do.
But I also believe that you should be able to pray whatever the fuck God you want to pray to. If you are a Muslim, if you're a Buddhist, if you worship, whatever the fuck you worship, you should be able to pray to your God and be free to do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't think that it should be time to pray.
If it's not prayer, why not meditation? If it's not prayer,
then call it something else. Call it meditation. I don't give a fuck what you call it.
So
it's the crux of one of the basic tenets of the forming of this nation. Separation of church and state. You're allowed to practice however you see fit within the confines of your own area.
But how come then let me ask you this question. How come if everyone can pray to whatever God they want, how come that's not how come that's not a demonstration of American freedoms? Like, now I'm not saying everybody's got to pray to Jesus. I'm saying pray to whoever you want.
Right.
So this is not necessarily one specific church. This is all churches being equally valued.
I don't think it should be led by the system.
No.
I think we should say, hey, listen, we got 5 minutes. Go and get your prayer on or get a drink of water, whatever it is you're trying to do.
And that's the way
I'm cool with that.
That's what I'm cool. Because listen, man, like my worst period it's right after lunch.
Right.
Like my kids come in turned up after lunch. Like they're like, they just finished having a bunch of like sour fucking, Sour Patch Kids and whole Cheetos and a bunch of fucking yellow dye number 5, and they come into my classroom raging, right? When they after lunch, my lights are usually turned off. Right. After lunch, my there's usually something really calming going on, and then my kids have to kind of chill out a little bit before we can do anything. Because if I try to give them some information, they're gonna tell me about this fight that had happened in the PE field and how this girl didn't like this girl and that did. I'm like, man, look, I don't give a fuck about none of that. We got shit to do. So look, I'm a fan of giving a child or giving a student a place to kind of clear their mind. It doesn't matter if it means that you're going to talk to your higher power. Just because the observation of a higher power may lead a child to thinking that they can't just be out in the streets doing whatever the fuck they want because they haven't they have something to answer to. So that's just my opinion. If we had prayer in schools, as long as everybody can pray, I ain't got no problems with that at all.
Yeah, I'm with that too, as having an open time. Listen, I know we got off on a tangent. The bottom line is, voting is not every 4 years, y'all. Get your head right. It's every 2 years. Whether you fall on the side of being a Trumper or a snowflake or right down the middle, fucking vote.
Right.
And don't just vote for the president. Vote for your congressman, senator. Get informed because it's really, really important. It is what helps you form your community and what goes on in your community, how your community is policed, how your community is taxed, where the money goes. If that park that they're building on the corner gets finished, if there's an after-school system, everything that helps a community, you vote on that. So stop thinking that it happens from the top down. It happens from the bottom up.
Great segue for that is the idea of a no-knock warrant.
That's a great segment.
Absolutely, because like what we're talking about is the lawmakers issued a no-knock warrant, right?
Yeah.
The people that carry out the laws issued a no-knock warrant, right?
Yeah.
And that no-knock warrant is basically what gave the police the authority to go into Breonna Taylor's house and kill her. That's what it was. Now, the police officers say they announced themselves. Right. But the warrant was carried out at 12 o'clock midnight. And I honestly
Normally they do
a
lot
lot
later.
I get it.
3-4 in the morning.
I get it. Like you have to, like if you have a no-knock warrant, right? And if you've done this before, like you've done these warrants before, why the fuck would you announce yourself? Isn't the element of surprise kind of the point of having a no-knock warrant?
Yes.
Yeah, like you're trying to keep them from getting rid of the evidence that you can kind of take.
Or getting a weapon.
They're getting a weapon, right? Like, why would you announce yourself? But, okay, that's neither here nor there, right? So let's say these guys announce themselves. The point is that through the voting process, you can actually eliminate these things from your name. Because California and Los Angeles, we have no-knock warrants here, too. I think that those things should be allowed. Okay.
I just think that there should be a higher level of responsibility.
Right.
Okay, so I think if there's a no-knock warrant, then I think that it needs to be signed off by a superior officer that's going to be responsible for the outcome of what happens in that no-knock warrant.
Right. So you're just saying the job needs to be done better.
I think it should be more thorough. Yeah, it's better. 100%.
I agree with you. Like, listen,
but I agree. Like, listen, police got a job to do, and I don't think that, unfortunately, I don't think that those type of police need to be the ones who need to be called when you're having a bad day and you're thinking about today might be your last day. I don't think that should consume their time.
Right.
I don't think if there's some sort of domestic violence thing, not domestic violence, domestic dispute, that necessarily is those police that need to take care of that. But I think in this case, what that type of shit is happening, that means they have surveillance, they have evidence that have led them to believe that this is the proper course of action.
Right.
Go for it. Knock yourself out. Get the fucking drugs off the street. I'm cool with all that stuff. I just think that when it happens, you can't go, oops.
So what happened in Louisville, Kentucky, where Breonna Taylor used to live, is that her house was under surveillance.
Right.
And that there were 2 warrants issued. One was for a known trap spot, right? And they went in there and they got the guy that received the package, so to speak, at Breonna's house, right? Just because this guy picked up a package from Breonna's house doesn't implicate her in a crime. What they thought was it's possible that there's some criminal activity going on here, because when they went in her house, they didn't find any evidence of crime at all.
Right.
Nothing. The irony of this whole situation is that earlier in the year, there was another guy in the same city in Louisville who lived in a house that was like 3 years or a year or so prior to him moving into this house.
It was a trap spot.
It was a trap spot. It was a known drug spot, right? So they the cops break into this dude's house. He's a law-abiding good guy. Break into this dude's house, throw an assault rifle in his kid's face, his 15-year-old's face, and just totally traumatize the whole family because they fit the description, right? So this is literally what we're talking about when we say, taxation without representation. Like, you said that the job needs to be done better because these types of mistakes have ramifications that are irreparable. Like, we can't fix the fact that Breonna got killed.
And I think that the officers that are serving these warrants are really high level officers, meaning that they are trained in these type of activities. They are very well versed in the weapons that they have, how to breach, contingency plans, and all of these things. So I think that it's kind of not fair to say that they should be infallible. But let's say that this case is a mistake, because it was, right? So with Breonna Taylor, somebody still has to be accountable.
Right. So
they don't just get off because it was a fucking mistake.
So here's the thing, right? Like, I honestly believe that these cops think that this is real police work. Kicking in the doors and chasing down the bad guys.
You don't think that's real police work?
No, it is. It is. Okay. But like, I'm presenting the idea of like cops and robbers on a more basic level, right? But the problem with this is that who is the robber, right? You're the cop. Who is the robber? Because like Louisville, Kentucky is a stand your ground state, right? Kenneth Walker is Breonna Taylor's boyfriend. He fired one shot in his house. 2:00 in the morning. He says that he didn't hear a knock or he didn't hear the police.
He didn't hear them announce themselves.
And what else people forget is that after all this shit happened, he called his mom and then he called the police.
Right.
If he thought that the police were outside, why would he call the police? Okay, fine. Maybe by now he knew the police were coming. Then maybe he was calling the police to get Breonna some help because she died in the hallway.
Right.
He shot one time. They shot 32 times. 32
and some of the shots came from outside of the dwelling.
The cop that got in trouble was the one that was shooting from outside of the apartment.
Right, which is total scapegoat.
Bro, like, so realistically, those bullets, they were, and you know how they know the difference is because the Kenneth shot a 9mm.
Right.
The police all shot 40 cals.
Interesting.
That's how they know the difference, how they know he only shot one time.
Right.
Also, the cop that got in trouble really got in trouble for hitting the walls. He didn't get in trouble for hitting Breonna.
Right.
Right? And if they were all using the same weapon and the same ammunition, where is the forensics that say which gun was the bullets that hit her? And the fact that the cop that got shot in the leg went right to the hospital.
Right.
Right? But
he had priority.
But she laid in the hallway dying. Like, okay, fine. If we're not gonna say the bullets killed her, right? Then we're not gonna say they allowed her to die? Like,
Right.
They allowed her to bleed to death in the fucking hallway. You shot 32 times and didn't go into the building to see if you hurt someone. Like, that type of shit.
Especially when they secure the area.
Especially when they secure the area, right? Especially when the boyfriend calls, right? So then the boyfriend.
Well, they also they let the boyfriend go.
No, they didn't. They took him to jail. They
No,
tried to hit
I'm
him
saying
with
in the aftermath they let him go, and I don't think they charged him.
No, so he was in jail for 2 weeks.
Right.
They tried to charge him with attempted murder, and then he was on house arrest for a month, right? Rittenhauer.
But was he prosecuted?
No, he wasn't prosecuted.
That's my point.
They threw the shit out.
Right.
They threw the shit out because I think they threw the shit out because it was they realized that he wasn't a bad guy. You know, he's not a criminal.
He was legal.
I guarantee you, if he had a fucking,
if
he had a history, if he had a
an
jacket,
ounce of history,
yeah, he would they would have totally discredited, but they couldn't say shit about him. Like, look, if someone broke in your house at 12 o'clock at night and it's all loud,
shot.
yeah, like, what do you think you're gonna do? Like,
I'm not asking questions.
Like, it's my right.
Nor
to bear
should
arms.
I.
Nor
there wouldn't
should
be
you.
an officer that said you should ask, "Hey,
Yeah.
who are you and what do you want?"
Yeah, that is a miscarriage of justice. I'm not even looking for vengeance. I'm looking for justice, right? Like,
Sure, everybody is.
If we're talking about not punishing the police for shooting her, then we should be talking about her not getting medical attention.
Right,
For
and that's a relative non-issue, at least in the media.
And the fact that this police officer probably won't even do any jail time. He just
he's gonna get slapped.
Yeah, he just shot the wall up. He like shooting up the wall.
So the bottom line is, this all alludes back to the same thing. Fucking vote.
Yeah, fucking
vote. If you on our podcast and you're leaving comments about, Trump is amazing, cool, man. More power to you.
Yeah, man.
Figure that shit out, but fucking vote.
Yeah.
And don't just vote for Trump or Biden. Vote all the way up and down the line.
Or at least do a tad bit of research and figure out what's happening in your neighborhood so that you're more informed when it comes time to vote, because that information is readily available, and I feel like the focus on voting for the president is almost a diversion from you actually affecting change
I agree.
in your own backyard.
It is.
That's what I think. Like, yeah, vote for the president, vote for the president, vote for the president. We did the same shit with Obama. Obama mania was amazing.
And then we didn't come back 2
Yes,
years
we
later.
can.
And we didn't.
And
we didn't
then
vote
we
for
all
Congress.
voted for Barack, but we didn't vote for anybody else, really. You know what I'm saying? We might have voted party.
That year.
Yeah. We
That
might have
year.
voted. You might have voted party. And to be honest with you, there are Republicans, like, I guess there are people of the opposing party that would probably do a better job than the person in your party.
Quite possibly.
Right. So being informed is the most powerful thing, especially if we're talking about what's going to happen tomorrow. Right. Side note, because I can't let the Breonna Taylor thing go. I'm sorry, man. Look,
I don't think you need to let it go.
yeah,
I get you.
It's rough, man, because so I'm sitting in my classroom and my students are reading a story that took place in 1933, right, in Mississippi. And there's a section of the story where the kids are walking to school. These are middle school kids, and they're walking to school and they're talking about a burning. Literally someone taking a chemical accelerant, pouring it on someone's head and setting them on fire, right? Brutal, right? And what my only little black girl in my third period is like, man, Mr. Thompson, I'm glad I don't live in that time period. I'm like, shit.
But you might.
Innocent person being killed because... And then I was like, yeah, Breonna Taylor was just in her house, like, minding her own business.
Well, there's been other instances of things just as bad.
Of course. Like,
hangings.
Yeah, listen, all we're talking about is change. I know that Trump supporters don't want to see black people hung. They don't want to see, let's just be honest.
Agree with that,
Let's just be honest. People that love Donald Trump don't want to see Breonna Taylor or fucking, what's my man's name? Any of those people. What's my man's name? Not Jacob Blake. My man. Just whatever. People don't want to see individuals be totally brutalized and murdered on fucking TV.
Agreed.
Right? So when we're talking about reform, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat. It doesn't matter. Because did you see that white lady at the football game?
I commented on that shit. So anybody who has not seen this white chick get fucking arrested by the black school police officer, you need to watch this. This is a perfect version of privilege. I don't even know if you want to call it white privilege, just fucking privilege. So this bitch does not want to wear a mask on school grounds.
There was a mandate. If you come into the game, you got to wear your mask.
Watching a football game, whether it was outside or not.
Bitch had a mask in the back pocket.
She was told repeatedly to please put your mask on. You have to put your mask on. She basically told them to fuck off. Okay.
I have asthma.
Whatever her fucking issue was, they asked her, you need to leave the premises. She said no.
Mm-hmm.
And so they called the school police, and the school police came over and said, lady, you got to go. And she was like, fucking for what? For not wearing a mask? And he said, no, because you were asked to leave by administration.
And now you're trespassing.
Mm-hmm. And she said, I'm not leaving. It's all over a mask. And he said, ma'am, it's not over a mask. You are now trespassing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go. And then she put up a fight. And now he said, now not only are you trespassing, but you're also resisting arrest because I've asked you to leave multiple times. You chose not to leave. You chose to break the law. And now we're going to fucking arrest you.
And she got tased, though.
And she
They
she
tased
started
her motherfucking
fighting
ass.
back.
Oh, yeah.
Fighting back.
Yeah.
And then she got tased.
Mm-hmm.
As she should.
Right.
The bitch should have gotten tased
And
3 or 4 more times.
I literally was in my head was like, what happened to the just do what you're told and
That's
you won't get tased?
exactly what I posted.
Just listen to the police and follow the authority. Shut the fuck up.
Let's use the same logic that a lot of conservatives say, well, if you weren't doing anything wrong, then they wouldn't have beat your ass. If you weren't breaking the law at the time, then you wouldn't have gotten shot. Well,
Right.
guess what, Karen?
And you know the worst part about that shit is that, like, I believe that the cop was justified in
Absolutely.
doing what he did, but I personally didn't like watching her getting tased in front of her, like the 3-year-old boy, 4-year-old boy that was sitting right there.
Cop was by himself.
The cop was by himself, but he tased this woman in front of a child. Like, that shit bothered me. Like, I was like, all right, Karen, you deserve this kind of, but
I don't give a fuck.
Like, my point is,
Hey, I'm gonna take the conservative route and be like, I guess that kid will know not to fuck
I guess
with the
that
police.
kid will know not to fuck with the cops. My point is, if you want change, then make sure that you are informed on the local level and then go make a decision forward.
Please stop saying this bitch got arrested for mask.
Yeah, nobody wants to see anybody be brutalized regardless of what party you stand on.
I don't.
I would like to hope. I would like to think. I'm pretty sure there's since this shit is on YouTube, I'm pretty sure there's some good old boys in West Virginia that love to see some old wild, racist shit go down. I'm pretty sure. You know what I mean? He might look a little like you with the tattoos and the.
Thanks.
I'm just saying.
Thanks for judging a book by its cover, black guy.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Welcome to my world.
By the way, can't check your pockets before we leave.
I'm just saying, I might have stole some shit, huh? We are in a
studio that's a lot of white people.
State-of-the-art studio. State-of-the-art.
With white people.
With some white people, yeah. But Josh ain't really white. You know how many
Whatever.
Jordans this motherfucker got? His black card is stamped.
Because he has
certified.
Jordans. That's a whole other conversation.
Got a new pair today.
So, real quick, we want to recap UFC.
Oh.
And we got to do it quickly.
Yeah.
But, wow.
What?
Style bender.
Oh man! Wait a second. What about Blachowicz and how he broke my boy Dominic Reyes' nose? He beat Dominic.
He whooped Dominic's ass.
And Dominic.
That's that Polish shit, homie. Like, don't fuck with that big Polish dude.
Big ass Polish. He's kind of slow. I was so shocked that
you ain't got to be fast. You just got to be accurate.
He landed them damn bombs on poor Dominic.
That's what
yeah. He's like, I don't need power. I can just be accurate, right? So it was the illest part is that Dominic took Jon Jones to a decision, and people thought that Dominic won.
Right.
Oh man, that Polish boy got in that ring and beat the daylights out of that kid.
Yeah. Broke
his nose. He was all the way fucked up. If the ref didn't stop it, it would have been a lot worse.
Oh yeah,
that was
100%.
a great stoppage.
And it was a good stoppage. But watching Ishmael,
oh man.
He said, "You Ricky Martin looking motherfucker."
Oh yeah.
He called him a Brazilian Ricky Martin.
He beat that boy's ass.
Yeah.
Poor Paulo.
And did it decidedly.
Yo, the worst part is that like casual fans will see Paulo Costa because he looks like he's like chiseled out of granite, right?
Oh, he's a pretty boy.
And fucking Adesanya was like, muscles don't win fights.
No, they don't. And they just proved it.
I think that Acosta landed one jab and like 4 kicks. And then the rest of it was just a clinic.
Oh, yeah,
he whooped his ass. The kicks,
it wasn't
the low
even funny.
It wasn't even funny.
What I tell you? I said he won't make it out the second round.
You did call it. I was like, yeah, because you know what happened is that when he was
standing up real high, chin was up nice and high.
He was absorbing all those
the back leg,
absorbing all those low kicks. And I was waiting for him to switch his stance.
Nah, I knew he wasn't going to switch.
And then he didn't switch his stance. So I was like, if he switches his stance, his power is gone, right? Because I don't believe the dude can throw from the other side. And Costa was taunting. In the middle of the fight, he's getting his ass whooped, and he's sticking out his tongue.
You do not want to stand toe-to-toe with a dude that knows how to leg kick.
Bro, the fact is, that he took time to taunt Adesanya, and he was imitating Yoel Romero in the fight. Bro, you are getting your ass kicked. You ain't got time to play around. Okay.
It was a pretty, but Ishmael is anything but gracious.
Oh no, Israel is yo.
Israel. I keep calling it Ishmael.
Yeah. Israel is a fucking troll, and I love it. Like,
I don't. I get it, and I'm not disheartened by it. I don't mind watching it, but I also think that when you win so many fights and you're so much of a decided champion, I think there comes a time you kind of have to act
okay,
like a champion.
I agree with you. I think
that's all. It's my personal thing.
Championship behavior.
It's the reason why I wasn't a
should
huge Jon Jones fan.
I love Jon Jones too, though.
I think he's an amazing athlete.
Yeah, but Jon Jones is getting in car accidents with pregnant ladies and fleeing
running
the
back
seas.
to get his weed. That's why he went back to get his
Jon
weed. Don't
Jones-
check on the pregnant lady, but I need my
Jon
weed.
Jones is
Arguing with cops.
is popping positive for PEDs, and he said that he took
You
some
saw it the
sexual
night he
enhancement
argued
pills.
with the cop,
I
right?
saw that, yeah.
And his vet.
But Jon Jones was also in the streets of Albuquerque, New Mexico during the protest, and he was securing the neighborhoods. The media does show a bunch of bad shit.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah,
I'm
like
just saying
Jon
he made
Jones-
some bad life choices.
Oh, he made
every
some bad
now
decisions.
And
Oh
again.
yeah, Jon Jones, he fucked it up a few times, right? But the point that I'm trying to make here is, I agree with you. Adesanya was going too hard. He didn't have to hump him. Did you see him hump him at the end of the what? He didn't have to hump. Look, man, you already beat the man. The man is nose to the canvas and his ass is in the air, and you're gonna hump him? The fight is over, bro.
That's
That's
just awkward.
That's not only is it awkward, it's just bro, that's totally unnecessary.
Well, but for his persona.
No, man.
I told you, not everybody wants to see the good guy win, but everybody wants to see the bad guy lose.
I think that
And he's going for that Mayweather look.
Is he going to further his career by doing that?
Absolutely.
Though?
Look at
Because
Mayweather.
He's such a highly skilled. I think the only person that's going to beat him has got to be some type of grappler, somebody that can take him down. Because we have never
somebody
seen
that
his
can
grappling
nullify him.
be tested.
He
Never.
hasn't had to.
Yeah, no.
Jon Jones, same shit.
Jon Jones, the same shit. Right. Exactly.
And he's good on the ground, but he ain't way better.
Didn't he have like a 6-inch reach advantage or some shit?
Yeah, it was something stupid.
Oh, it was something crazy. It was like, yo, bro was punching you from all
it
the
was
way
like
across
74 to 80
It was
inches
like
of
crazy.
reach or
I was
some
like,
shit.
if Costa doesn't close the distance, he's going to get fucking lit up.
Nah, he had
But
no shot in the dark.
That's kind of the tall, rangy fighter. That's their advantage, right? Jon Jones does it. What's my man? There's a bunch of guys that are able to do that, and they can strike you from distances where you can't even hit them.
Well, I mean, Cowboy does that stuff.
Man, look, I
Poirier
think
does that.
Cowboy
But Poirier
just-
is more of a grinder.
what do you say? Anderson Silva used to do it
Oh, yeah,
also.
Silva used to do that a lot, too.
Cowboy, man. I feel like Cowboy is getting to the point where he should just call it quits, man. What else is there to?
Cowboy's gangster, homie.
Bro,
he needs to ride edges so the wheel fall off.
No, he shouldn't, man. He did look good. He looked great, but at the same time, man, how much head trauma are you going to take?
A lot.
He doesn't need the money. I know he loves the fight, but you got to start thinking about your kids. He has a son. You know what I mean? Bro, you're not going to be a champion. You're not going to make a championship run this late in your career. The same thing with he's just fighting because he loves to fight.
He does. He loves to fight, and he makes money.
What's Diego Sanchez? Diego Sanchez was on Ultimate Fighter 1.
Yes.
Okay? Diego Sanchez needs to call it a fucking career. He got his ass. That young kid was like 10 years old watching Diego Sanchez on Ultimate Fighter 1, and he whooped his ass. Diego, just call it a career, bro. Just call it a career.
Speaking of careers.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, sir.
What are we talking about today?
It is
Is it
stories
that time?
from the porn set.
Oh, favorite line from last show? I fuck fat bitches. I fuck ugly bitches. I fucked ugly fat bitches.
Fat ugly
Or
bitches.
fat ugly. You need a t-shirt. We need some merch. We need some merch.
We have to come up with a good name for this segment because
I
Kip,
fuck
as
fat
try as he might, is not getting rid of this segment.
Nah, man. Nah. I'm like, go ahead. Don't make me pull your card because there was some wild shit. There was some real interesting shit that happened at dinner.
What?
Now, go ahead.
What'd I say? No, I forgot. Tell me.
What you were embarrassed about. Look,
That was some personal shit.
yeah, okay, so listen.
That wasn't on set.
I'm not going to tell you a story. So he has these on-set stories about the wildest shit. And then the most benign story had this dude turn all red and purple and all start blushing.
Yeah, well.
I was like,
Yeah, well,
so
that's awkward.
the dude's dick on your thigh wasn't embarrassing. Fucking on the, Grandpa Jim's tombstone wasn't embarrassing.
Nah.
But this shit made you blush? bro. Okay.
You know what I had to do today?
What?
Today I was a stepfather and a teacher at the same time.
Wait a minute. Is that incest?
No. Stepfather.
Still in.
Stepfather. Come on, don't be ridiculous. What kind of monster do you think I am?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Stepfather, you know.
Fuck
Stepfather is not.
I wouldn't play fuck my daughter.
You wouldn't play fuck your daughter.
No, I would only play fuck
shit.
my
If the check
potential
had enough zeros on it, you play fucking the shit out
I
your
have
daughter.
very low moral fibers.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Very
on my
minimal.
soul.
Yeah, I'm so going to hell.
Yeah.
After the shit that I've shot, I'm so going to hell.
So you were the stepfather and the teacher.
yeah.
Did you have a classroom set? That's
Yeah,
disgusting.
100%.
Oh man,
100%.
Fuck,
Came
man.
around the desk, fucked her on her desk, fucked her on my desk.
Oh,
And
were
then-
you fucking another teacher at least?
No, it was my stepdaughter who was my student.
Oh, D.
Duh. What kind of porn do you think we make? Listen, I'm telling you right now, don't blame me because they fucking buy that shit. Okay, we wouldn't be making the shit if these perverts were not buying it.
You know what? You know
Or
what?
streaming it for free.
I'm sorry,
Right,
D.
or streaming it for free, you fucking asshole.
It's your fucking
asshole.
fault. Pay this man on his OnlyFans.
Sign up on my OnlyFans. Y'all owe me some motherfucking money. If you've ever watched me for free, you owe me $5. Okay.
Oh man, there's a sister out there that's a follower of the show, and we were talking about cuties last week, and she said, "I canceled my Netflix so I can pay for D's OnlyFans."
Yeah, buddy.
And
Wait, is
I
her name
thought
Sharice?
that shit, I'm gonna find it right now. I thought that
'cause
shit.
if it's
was-
Sharice, she's
was
like
all the way-
my
all the way
A number
dope.
one OnlyFans.
Word. I hope she didn't cancel her Netflix to watch you beat your dick online.
Absolutely. I hope she did.
Oh my god.
I got shit to pay for.
Yeah.
God damn it. Life ain't free.
Life is not free.
No, I
No.
can't even afford the sleeves on my shirts no more.
No. But that's
shit is crazy.
That's a stylistic, choice you take there, Mr. Muscles.
You know what's funny is I have
Oh,
attended.
Dakota
No,
Wirtz.
I don't know her, but Dakota.
Yeah.
love you.
Shout out to Dakota.
I love you,
Appreciate you, Dakota.
pay me, tip me, tip me, tip me.
Hey, she kind of cute too.
Tip drill, tip drill, tip
She
drill.
kind of cute.
So we always talk about like the whole jerking off thing. We don't always talk about it, but I'm saying we do because it fits the fucking story.
You made it sound like we be chilling by ourselves talking
Be like,
about
hey,
jerking
Kip,
off.
so guess what?
No, we do not talk about jerking off.
Well, I always find it really fucking awkward when I jerk to pop because that happens often.
This guy in his fucking technical terms.
What?
jerk
Look
to
at
pop.
me when I'm talking to you about
I'm
me
not.
jerking
No,
off.
no, thank you.
Kip, right here.
No.
Fucking eye contact.
Look at me. when
Is
I'm
it
talking
awkward if I
about
was
shit.
jerking off and I was like staring at you like
I
this?
wouldn't even be in the room. I'll be
Some-
across the street, down the
Some
block, and
fucking
around the corner.
performers do that shit, and it's
Not
a little
me.
fucking awkward. Like, why are you looking at me like that? Yeah. One of the most awkward times is when it was about 35 degrees out and we were doing a fucking scene inside the pool. And so I had two options of even having my up to my
I feel like I
thigh
always get extra sweaty when this shit happens.
in a free, because you feel
This
something.
shit, man,
That's
it's
why.
making me
You feel
uncomfortable.
awkward.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable as shit.
So it was either like up to my thigh in fucking ice cold water in the middle of December in the fucking mountains, or
Hey, shrinkage is a real thing,
a
though.
fire pit. Not what I'm fucking.
Okay,
Just
all
my
right.
balls crawl up inside me.
Okay.
Yeah, so it looks very high and tight.
High and tight.
You know, it's like a dick fade.
A
It's high
dick
and
fade.
tight because the balls don't hang.
This is your man, son. Mr. Dick Fade over here. It's your man's. High and tight like a fade, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's not like a rocker where your balls are all hanging out of control and shit. It's fucking high and tight, buddy. High and tight. Put a little ice on them.
Put a little ice on him.
So anyway, I was jerking a pop, and I just remember that it was so fucking cold. Everybody was in parkas, and the girl had on a comforter, and I had to like tell her when I was ready so she could throw the shit off and be like, like that. And so I remember it was so fucking cold. It was so cold that I didn't have to jerk off. You just fucking. You just fucking shivering and you don't even have to jerk. And I'm like, bitch, you better tell me some crazy shit in my ear right now.
This
because
man
it's
is a
fucking
professional,
freezing.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, don't try this shit at home. Or do try it at home. I don't know. It's fucking cold. I don't know anybody who would want to jerk off in
Where
the
the
cold.
fuck were you at 35 degrees in California?
Up in the fucking mountains.
Okay, good answer.
Where the fuck else would I be?
I don't know. That's why I need
It
to
does
know.
get cold in Cali.
It don't get 35 degrees
Yes,
cold.
it fucking does.
Okay, maybe for a week.
That was the week I was shooting. The fuck you talking about? This shit is horrible. It's fucking horrible. I would much rather shoot when it's fucking hot out. You don't care about my jerk off stories.
I don't want to hear any more balls and frostbite stories ever again in
High
my
and
life.
tight.
It was
High
his,
and tight.
Eskimo
High and tight.
stepdaughter.
It was
It was what? What is it?
an Eskimo stepdaughter. Yeah,
It was.
that
We
makes
were
sense.
rubbing noses together.
No, you was rubbing way more than noses together.
Wow.
You was probably rubbing your nose on something else.
We were at Mish and we were rubbing noses.
All
Listen,
right.
I'm going to end the story there because we went way over time. I'm Derrick Pierce.
I am superstar Kippy Graham.
If you have not hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Fact check our shit. We want to hear from you, even if we don't like what the hell you have to say.
Even if we fucked it up,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Have an amazing day or night, whatever time you're watching this. We love you.
Scholar,
I think very deeply.
sinner.